Hey everyone, so we're going to go over the basics of our assembly. We're going to begin the assembly first by creating the sides of our birdhouse. We need to have all the sides and everything so we can then bring it together. It's like an exploded view, so then we can bring it together and make sure it fits and there's not any holes in this process of putting it together. So in Onshape, I'm going to go ahead and create a new document, and this says new document right now. I'm going to put it in my 8th grade folder, even though the date range is wrong there. And I'm going to say this is birdhouse. Whoop. Birdhouse. I'm going to put my name on it. Birdhouse material. Open. It's going to go ahead and create in that folder. And as I always do on the left-hand side, I take the top and the right and the origin, and I hide them. I usually work off of the front plane, so I'll hit front here, and then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to say the top plane, hide that, right plane, hide that, origin, hide that. I just like to start on a nice clean, almost like a slab of paper here, and then you go ahead and work from there. So this is the first side of my birdhouse. I'm going to just do 2 sides just to keep this video kind of simple, but you'll create a side for every aspect, every side of your birdhouse: top, bottom, roof, left, right, front, back. Now maybe the front and the back are the same. We can duplicate that. Maybe the left and the right are the same. We can duplicate that. I'll show you that in a second too. So Part Studio 1 at the bottom left, I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to say front. Just to keep it easy here, I'm going to have each part studio. As I go from here, I'm going to hit the plus sign to create another one, and I can create a new part studio. And then this next one, I'm going to rename that, and I'll call that left side. And some of these are going to be super easy builds. Again, I'm going to hide those planes as I talked about a minute ago. Back to the front plane, the front face, the front build. I'm going to start off by making the front. So what is it going to look like? You guys have your plan of what that's going to be. We did a guidance practice document. You know kind of what you want to build at this point. I have my mindset on what I want to build. So I'm going to begin by sketching. We follow those same patterns: sketch, 2-dimensional, dimension it, extrude. So I go to sketch, and then it says, where do you want to draw the sketch plane? I'll click on my front plane. I'm going to turn on my rectangle tool, and I'll drag and drop a rectangle. Now, I'm currently in millimeters. You can see it's in millimeters right now. If I just go and dimension that and change it to inches, it'll be in millimeters, but it'll go to the proper inch. I'm going to change that to my workspace units to inches. The 3 lines at the top of the screen, I click, and then there's workspace units, and I can change it from millimeters to inches in check mark. All right, now I have to reopen that sketch 1 that I was drawing. There it is. Step 2, we dimension. 1 click on the top, 1 click there. My dimension's currently 3.1 inches. I'm going to say it's going to be 5 inches wide. And I'm going to click on this side over here and 1 click and come out. And I'm going to make it 7 inches, 8 inches tall. All right, and I'm going to hit front again so it zooms out and it shows my whole plane, my whole birdhouse. Now it looks like it's drawn a little bit low here on my screen, and on your mouse, if you just press it down on the middle mouse ball, you can then actually move it up a little bit. And remember, with your mouse, you can zoom in and zoom out if you want to as well. So that's going to be up to you for your preference. So I have it 8 by 5. That's what I like for my front. I'm going to extrude it by 1 inch. So I go to extrude now, and I'll make it 1 inch. And it's new. My face of sketch 1 is selected. That's what I'm extruding. Check mark, and then right click and turn it to see, okay, there's my board. My first board of wood is going to be 8 by 5 and look something like this. Now, if I am going to have my birdhouse be a front face like that, good. I'm off to a good start. I just need my entrance hole and maybe my perch hole for the bird. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to add a sketch, and I'm going to choose my sketch plane as this surface right here. And then I get my circle tool, and I draw a circle on the center on the board. It doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to dimension it in step 2. Go to dimension, 1 click on my circle, drag it out, and my hole is currently 1.27. We have the Forstner bits you'll learn on the drill press. I like to make it 1.5 inches for a diameter. Now we have this side 5 inches. I want it centered. This is 5 inches. So 1 click on the side of my circle, 1 click on the side of my birdhouse. And that distance will be half of the remainder, now I have a 1.5 inch diameter hole. So 5 minus 1.5 is 3.5. So half of 3.5 will be on each side to make that perfectly centered. All right, so half of 3 is 1.5. Half of a half is 0.25. So 1.75 should put me right there and move that perfectly in the center. Just to show you and double check, I can click on this one time and here one time as well, and it shows 1.75. You don't need to do that because you know you're already in the center. So let's turn that off. Very good. Now, how high do you want this to be? We want to be a little bit high because you remember from your guidance document, if the hole's too low, the baby birds could fall out of the hole before they're ready to fly. We don't want that. So we want to keep it up a little bit. But if you're going to put that angled piece here, then you're going to have to be high enough to make sure that it's not impacted by the angle piece. I believe I'm good right now, but I'm going to get a nice exact size, nice exact distance to make it easy for me. So the center point, I'm going to go from the center point to the top, and I'm going to make it 3. 3 is pretty close. So 3 inches there. And then just to confirm I have a distance from the center point to the edge, it's 2.5, just so you can see that. All right, so I have some great dimensions here to know where to put the hole, where to make my board. Got that good. If you do want to put the triangle piece, then you just have to go ahead. You can do it with a line tool. You can go from your center point. You can come down to the edge. I'm going to go over to the other edge and back up to my center point there. And then you go to dimension, and we can dimension the distance from the center point to this side over there and make it a round number. 1.8 is not a great number, so I'm going to go 2, and it automatically brought 2 as well over here, but you could go from that center point to that point and then 2 as well. Okay, so we have all our dimensions. Now for extruding, we're going to extrude this. I'm going to go ahead and extrude, remove this triangle, and that circle. Extrude, remove, not that one. What face sketch region do you want to extrude? The circle. I want to extrude that triangle and that triangle. And then check mark. And I got my front. Now your front might be the same as your back. And if it is, if you're going to have a hole on both sides and all that good stuff, you can just go down to the front part studio, right click, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. And then front copy one, I'm going to rename that back. So I have the front and I have the back. On the back, if you want to change anything, you just go into what you've done over here. You can go and delete anything you want. You can change extrusions. You can modify. You can add a perch on the back if you want to. I'm on the back now. Maybe that's what I want to do. I'll say my sketch right here. Circle tool, perch, dimension. 0.5 sounds good. And you might modify it when we build. That's okay. 1 click to the side, 2.5 was to the center. And we'll go from the bottom. Just to make it a nice round number, 3.5 works. How's that go? Looks good. I'll extrude that out. We're going to remove it. Great. Okay, so the back and the front are set. If you want to have the perch on the front instead of the back, that's fine. You can change it later. Not a big deal. Left side. We don't have anything built yet. I'm going to just do this real easy. We're 8 by 5, but we did cut down 2 inches because of the angle of the piece. So I want to go 6 by 6 on the top, and I'm going to go 6 by 4. So I'll sketch, draw a rectangle. Again, you've done this pre-check. You know the sizes that you want already. And if you want to modify it later in the assembly, we can go ahead and do that as well. That's why we do the assembly. And we're going to make a new extrusion of 1 inch, and there we go. So we have a side, and we have the front. Now you'll keep going in the back. You'll keep going with this. You'll keep going till you have everything. You need all your sides done. And then we get to the assembly. And in the assembly, we're going to go ahead and we can hide the origin if you want. We're going to insert. And all I have are the 3 sides right now. You would have all of them. But I'm going to insert the front, the back, and the left side. Okay? So there is 1, 2, 3 sides. All right, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Whoops, here we go. Now, as I told you when we did that practice assembly, it looks like the back didn't have the hole all the way out. So all you have to do is go into the back. Oh, it's there. That's odd. Interesting. Super interesting. It's not showing it all the way through, but it's not the end of the world because it's not going to mess up our building. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and organize this now to bump up against each other. So we know that this side has to be turned. So if I click on this one time, it gives me the X, Y, and Z axis to rotate this. So which way are you going to rotate it? You need to look at the zeros, the circles here with the lines, and see which one you think you want to work with. This one we're going to move 90 degrees. All right, and that should be good. Now, as I've taught you before, oh, there we go. I brought too many in. That's why. Whoops, my bad. As I taught you before, this surface needs to mate up against this surface. This is very important. Planar mate. I'm going to go up to planar mate, and I'm going to say that surface right there has to connect with that surface right there. I'm going to hit the check mark. Cool. And then this plane I want in line with this plane. One click there, one click there. Check mark. Very good. And then the last one is, let me turn this off so you can see it clearly. The bottom is not aligned. So that plane and that plane have to be mated together. So I click on the planar mate. I'm going to go to this one and that one. Check mark. Now that thing is together. If I'm going to move this, this thing is all one piece now. It's not going to come apart at all. Cool. Now we have the front or the back, whatever you want to call it. This one is going to go on the other end of this one. So I'm just going to drag it closer to make that not confusing. But there you go. Now they're actually in line with each other. So I turn on this planar mate and say this surface is going to bump up against that surface. And I hit the check mark. And the same deal. This surface is going to bump up against that surface. Check mark. And then if I turn this off, you'll see that this bottom is not connected yet. So again, planar mate, that surface bottom with that surface bottom. Make sure you get the bottom too. I'm going to zoom in. If I get a line on the outside, that's not the same as this plane here. It could be coming off of that one and not off of this one. So make sure you get the right plane. Zoom in if you have to. I know it takes an extra second, but it's worth doing. And I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see it. But my planar mate's closed right now, and you can see that this whole thing is together, locked together, and looking pretty good. Bottom's tight. The walls are tight. The roof will go on here. The gap should be tight, and it's looking pretty good. So you have all your pieces. You bring them in, and you planar mate them all together. The only time you're going to have a lot of trouble is the roof. So see me about the roof, but we should be able to lock the walls and the floor together, and then the roof will get it in position and have it ready to go for the drawing. So the last piece would be plus sign, create a drawing. I always like you guys to work ANSI B inches because we're working in inches, and B will be the landscape view. Portrait is the A. So we're going to go with the B, and then OK. Here comes the drawing, and then we're going to insert the part so we can show each part that we need. I want each part visible so I can print the plan and you'll know exactly what to go ahead and build. So I'm going to say right now, insert. Let me X that out. Insert. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'll choose the back first. That's a good size. Fits nicely. So I'll click one time. Now that's the only part that's inserted. Turn off the projected view. I'll go back to keep it easy. Let's just stay here. There's other ways of doing this, but I'm just going to stay here. Insert instead of the front view now. Let's go with the left view so it shows the depth because that one doesn't currently show the depth. And I'm trying to line it up perfectly with my peak and with the bottom as well. turn my projected view back off. And lastly, I want to see the isometric view. There we go. So I have three views. I have the front view, I have the left view, which shows the depth, and then I have my isometric view, which shows the third dimension as well. And then you're going to go ahead to the labels, and I'm going to label it and say this one's going to be called, it is labeled as back, but it's got the perch on it, so I'll call it the back view. So back. So it's really the back, but I'm also going to be calling this is the front view of the back. Front view of the back. So sorry, it's a little confusing. This is going to be the left view of the back. And this is going to be the isometric view of the back. You do not need to dimension the isometric view. We do need to dimension the front view and the left view here. So the part is the back. Maybe I should make it back part just to make that a little clearer. And then the left view, front view, isometric view, this is all of the back part. I turn on my dimension tool, and then you need these numbers. You guys need these numbers to know what to cut out of wood. So this is 6, but I also need to know how much to make this rectangle of wood. So that's 8, and then we'll be 2 inches down to here. I can make it clearer if you need me to, just like that. Not 2.5. We should be going. There you go. So it shows 6, 2, and 8. All right, my circle is going to be 1.5. Try to just put this in a good spot. There you go. This one is going to be 0.5. And then we need to go, where is my location of my hole? From there to there is 2.5. And from the bottom is 5. Do we have all the dimensions we need? Yes, except for the depth right here of the board, which is 1 inch. And of course, it can be modified. If you end up getting a board that's 3/4 and you go with that, cool, no problem. That's not a big deal. All right, I think all of our dimensions are here for this. That looks awesome. Front view, left view, front view, isometric view. Yeah, I like having those across the top. And then this is the back part for all of these. Okay, and you'll do it for the next part, and the next one, and the next one. And eventually you'll go back to insert view, and you'll insert the assemblies. So you click assemblies, and I'll click on that one time, and I'll bring that in just kind of off to the side so it's not in the way. So I click one time on that. Now the assembly did not show there, so what I'm going to do is double click, and this opens up over here, and I can put a rotation angle of 220 degrees. Whoop. That didn't work. Let's go with a different orientation. We'll go isometric. Let's go back to 0. Yeah, that works. I just have to drag it onto the paper. All right, so by double clicking it, I was able to change the view orientation to isometric and then change the rotation angle to 0. Use this video. Go ahead and pause it. Go ahead and rewatch it. Go back and understand how to bring all these parts in. But by making an assembly of everything together, we know it fits. We know when we're cutting out a board, we're getting the right size board. And that's really one of the main goals here, not to waste any wood and make sure that it works here. If you have any questions, of course, speak up. And that'll conclude this little tutorial. Thank you.